Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news, where we talk about pilot orders, series orders, renewals, cancellations, bits of casting, shows in development, all these things that happen in the TV world. We tend to have a bit of fun doing it. We joke along the way, make fun of some particularly the networks, the regular networks, their descriptions of TV shows that they're developing tend to give us some amusement, and
they tend to not be the best written descriptions.
So, we'll dive in, we'll see what's on offer this week, and at the end we'll give you an update on what's coming up soon, TV review-wise from the channel, or if you listen to the audio version of this on the Almost Cancelled TV News podcast audio feed, what's coming review-wise on the two TV review feeds. We have two. We have the Netflix one, which is all the Netflix shows, and then we just have Almost Cancelled TV Reviews, which has all the other shows. So both of those are updated, at varying degrees depending on what we're covering at any given time between the two batches. But so we'll get into this week's TV news. Starting off hot with a hot renewal of a show that's not even premiered yet. The Witcher has been renewed for season 2 by Netflix ahead of its first season. They did confirm as well that the second season will also be 8 episodes, much like season 1, and will begin production in early 2020 with a planned debut in 2021.
That seems reasonable. This is good because I know the showrunner has already publicly spoken that she has a 7-season plan.
Yeah, but 7 seasons of 8 episodes, though. I mean, that's actually fairly reserved when you think about how many episodes it is overall.
Oh, in terms of total episodes, yeah. Just in terms of Netflix renewing you.
Yes.
Well, at this point, 5 more times.
Maybe that's part of the deal. You have to do 8 episodes at a time, Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get the first 2 at least. I'm very curious to see what they do here. I mean, is this just going to adapt all the books in 7 seasons, or are they going to go beyond it to some game stuff as well?
I don't know, because there's the first couple of books are just short stories, and then you get into the meat of the books. So it depends if they spend some time doing some of the stories first.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Not that I've read the books, I wouldn't even know if they're doing anything. What they're doing.
I'm in the process of it.
Yeah, did you learn Polish so you could read them?
No, there's English translations. Thank you very much.
Amateur.
Yeah. Polish is a terrible language.
Why?
It's just horrible whenever I hear it. I hear it a lot at work. A lot of Polish people, and I like the people, but it's a horrible sounding language. It's very harsh.
I don't know. After that first season of Star Trek Discovery, nothing compares to Klingon for me at this point. So it's all fine.
Yeah, that's pretty bad as well.
It's all fine. So no, this is them showing confidence. This is them saying, "Hey, we're committed to this," which is good. It's a good sign of faith. I mean, it doesn't really necessarily mean that they're guaranteeing a season 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, which the showrunner is promising she wants to do. But at the very least, it's a start. Yes. So that's good. Next up, we got a renewal for another show. This one we already know we care about. Another early renewal as well. Brooklyn Nine-Nine has been renewed for season 8, which is funny given the conversation I think we had just last week on this very show.
I think it was, yeah, because we were talking about whether or not it was a final season or if it was just a mid-season thing that we're safe with.
And it's worth mentioning they've not said that the season 8 is going to be their final season either, which honestly, it makes sense to end on 9. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, come on, you end on 9. Perfect. I mean, that's
do a 9-episode season as well.
Well, no, because that's only 9 episodes is shit for a sitcom.
It is, but just for that, I would do it as, hey, look, we were going to end at 8, but we'll give you 9 more.
Okay, sure. If it's 9 more after it was going to end, I'd love it because it's 9 more. But if it's 9 instead of getting a longer season, I'll hate it. So, worth mentioning, the season 7 that's going to premiere in February 6th, because that was the news last week, is going to be 13 episodes. It isn't out of the realm of possibility, though, that much like last year, they may order a few extras before the end of the season.
It's not impossible, no. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe it's less likely now that they've already renewed it for another season, though. Because it'd be weird to sort of go back and say, oh, but season 7's getting more now as well.
That would be strange. But, I mean, 13's fine.
Yes. If they want to, give it a bigger season for season. Maybe it's easier to keep the cast if they're keeping the numbers down. Maybe that's how they can keep going.
They're probably busy people.
Yeah. So that's cool. Speaking of renewals again, we got a renewal for Titans Season 3 on DC Universe, which they did say is coming to DC Universe. So DC Universe still exists in a year's time, which is when this is roughly going to premiere.
Yep. Yeah, this is fine news, I guess.
Here's an interesting question, actually. Since Doom Patrol is launching on both this and HBO Max at the same time, does that mean that if you've got DC Universe and HBO Max, there's nothing else on DC Universe for those like 10 weeks, 13 weeks? Because
I think that's possible. Another possibility is they put some animated show on alongside it.
Because I was just thinking about it, like, it kind of devalues DC Universe. If you got both, it's like, well, there's literally nothing new then for me on DC Universe for 13 weeks because it's on HBO Max that I've already got as well.
They're either expecting three things. People cancel for 3 months or
Sure.
so. They go, people are too lazy, they won't bother, they'll just leave it. Or 3, they're banking on the backlog of content, whether that be TV, movies, or comics, being enough to keep people interested for 3 months while there's not a new show.
Yeah, I have to say, if there's one thing I'm not lazy about, it's cancelling all these subscriptions, because otherwise they will pile up when I'm not paying attention.
Honestly, I literally just signed up to EA's one today because I want to play the new Star Wars game. I was playing it just before we started.
And you cancelled it so that it'll not auto-renew at the end of the month.
Yep. I was like, if I get to the end of the month, well, in a month's time and I haven't finished the game, I'll turn it back on and pay for another month. But at least now I don't have to think about it.
Yes. No, I get it. I agree. I am the same way because they can pile up. I mean, if I listed every service that I sort of rotate through, I mean, there's a couple that I always have, but if I listed everyone that I rotate through, and if I kept them all on at the same time, it would probably be like 100 a month or something like that I'd be spending if I had them all on at the same time.
Yeah, I've been seeing that going around on Twitter this week. Someone adding up all the streaming services, including like Disney and HBO Max.
Yeah.
And Apple, and they're like, oh, and all this, it's like $90, and cutting the cable was supposed to save me how much? I'm like, yeah, but you're not tied into a year at minimum contract.
Yeah, you can rotate around, you can pick the ones you want, you can binge some stuff on one, cancel it, get the other one for another month. There's more options.
There's so much more flexibility with having them all individual and having the control and not being tied into contracts with them.
Yes, and honestly, at least for some of these bigger ones in Netflix now, because it's been doing content for so long, you're getting a much bigger library when you sign up for the month than you were, if you got, HBO for a month, before HBO Go and Now existed, and it was just the network, and it was just, cable package, like, you just got what they were showing for a month, and that was it. And, you get more now.
Yeah, and also, just on a personal preference aside, if you're like, hey, you're going to sign up to all of these, or a cable package, and it's going to cost you the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, all right. I'll still take all the streaming services. I like a lot more of the content on those than I do on just watching cable stuff. As a rule,
yeah.
Especially if I'm including HBO in that streaming stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, I can live without regular TV stuff if I've got all that there. Even at the same price, because I'm not paying it on top of it. It's like, one or the other. Yeah, sure, I'm not saving any money, but I think personally I'm getting a lot more value out of my entertainment.
Yeah. So. People are quick to jump on it and say it's not any better than cable now if you're getting all of them, but you have the option. So even if you add them all up and it's the same, you have the choice at all times, and cancelling does not require phoning and talking to someone. And okay, I get that most cable companies now you can just do it online, but for a long time you had to call and talk to someone, and it was a process, getting it turned back on. And depending on who you're with, they may want to come and take your cable box back. Some don't, some do. If you've got satellite, they may want your satellite dish back. Some do, some don't. It just depends on the service. And all of this murkiness you just can ignore and not think about now. It's so much easier to sign up for a month for something and quit.
Yeah, it's a flawed argument, really, I think, because
now,
it's just not the same.
If some of these places start saying you have to contract for 12 months, then things change, and then we can start tearing them apart for it.
Yeah, now the beauty is none of them can say that because they'll look terrible.
Yes.
Now, there are a lot of them that offer, hey, buy a yearly contract and pay up front, and it'll cost less in the long run. That's fine. If you're choosing to make that commitment and make that saving, I'm okay with that. But it's just not the same.
There was a glitch there in the middle of one of your sentences. You went, "That's fine."
I noticed my screen flicker. Yeah, I was like, "What's going on?" And then you smirked. I was like, "Okay, something else happened."
I didn't have your computer eyes think your voice, but just a split second. But it was funny. So, No, but yeah, and then the last renewal we've got to talk about, not a show we talk about ever really, but worth mentioning, Amazon's renewed Goliath for a fourth and final season. That's the Billy Bob Thornton one they've got, so never really hear many people talking about it, but I know some people like it, so I thought it was worth mentioning.
It exists.
It exists, and it's getting an ending, which is always good. It's always nice to hear.
It is, yeah.
So, this is weird actually, we don't really have any buffer stories this week. Normally, after renewals and cancellations, there'll be like, maybe some just weird random updates or some casting stuff. We're going straight into the comedies.
You couldn't have made something up.
Made something up.
I don't know. just make something up and see who believes it.
I'm on the spot now. I can't make something up on the spot.
Yeah,
but
it's too late now.
It's too late now. But
Next time this happens.
Yeah, all right. So we'll get straight into the comedies. It's called Pivoting, and no, it's not a spin-off to Friends, before anyone cracks that joke. Pivoting is a half-hour single-camera comedy from writer Liz Astroff, and if I say Aaron Kaplan...
Oh, God.
Connor was supposed
playing the part.
Connor was supposed to say Capital Entertainment, but he's a dick, so I'll just sit for you. So this is a script plus penalty development deal. Pivoting is a comedy about tragedy set in a small middle-class town in Long Island, where we follow three close-knit childhood friends after the death of another. During the grieving period, when psychologists advise not to make any big decisions, our three friends do exactly that and upend their lives in an effort to find happiness while there is still time, taking on the midlife challenge they never saw coming, becoming unstuck. So it's just three people having a bit of a midlife crisis after one of their contemporary friends dies, and making changes. Not a lot to go on. It's fine. It's a fine premise.
Could be funny. Who knows?
Yes. What's funny is actually it doesn't actually sound like a comedy that much. The actual description.
No, it doesn't, does it?
It's just them telling me it's a comedy. It tells me that.
Sorry, did you say where this was network-wise?
Fox.
Fox. Okay, that's interesting because this sounds like the HBO comedies that there are there. It sounds like one of those by description.
Yeah. So that is that. Next up, we have NBC doing a comedy here. Put Pilot Commitment, single camera comedy starring British writer, comedian, and TV presenter London Hughes. Insecure co-creator Larry Wilmore is also producing. So, written by Hughes and Wilmore, the Untitled comedy, clearly influenced by Hughes' experience as an English woman in America, centers on London Jones, who, after getting dumped by her boyfriend in England, comes to America to find success herself and maybe even love. Yeah, not a lot to say. Someone moves to America and comedy ensues.
Yeah. Again, could be funny. I'm not familiar with people here.
Not a lot to go on. Very kind of open, vague setups.
It's a very kind of just generic thing so far.
Yeah. ABC's put in development a family restaurant comedy inspired by the memoir of celebrity chef Aaron Sanchez. It comes from Real O'Neill's writer-producer Rob Sudduth, Eva Longoria, and Ben Spector's unbelievable entertainment. I said it like that because the EVA in the middle are capitalized.
Of course they are.
That's his company. What do you want? Unbelievable. It almost sounds like I'm doing Victor Meldrew, which is an old British reference no one's going to get, maybe. I don't even know if Connor's going to get that. No?
Should I?
Did you ever see One Foot in the Grave?
Oh, God. Not in a long, long time.
Unbelievable. That was his thing.
Yeah. It's been like...
Yeah, it's ancient.
Years.
It's ancient, yeah, that show. Yeah. But it was always as a kid. But
yeah.
So, the Untitled Where I Come From project. We'll just call it Where I Come From working title then.
I was going to say, that's kind of a title.
Yeah, just call it that for now and just change it later when you want something else. It says on a divorced chef, Zoila Sanchez, who has always told stories through her food. And that food's got some explaining to do. She uprooted her fraternal twin sons Alex and Raphael from El Paso to New York so she can fulfill her dream of opening a restaurant. As they all struggle to make sense of their odd new world, they must lean on each other like never before and use the family business to forge a new community, one meal at a time. All these comedies sound kind of like low-key dramas that are just going to have some comedy in them.
Yeah, I assume maybe they're just trying to play that up in the descriptions this year for whatever reason, and
Yeah,
then when you watch it, yeah, it's just a sitcom.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe they don't want us going. Yeah, it sounds like a workplace sitcom because I feel like fundamentally that's probably what this is.
It probably is. Yeah, it's probably just in a restaurant and it's funny and you got characters and maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually wraps up the comedies. So before I move on to the dramas, I want to thank our Patreon producers. These are patrons rather, over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV at the $20 tier or up. So thank you to David Short, Alison M. Fordas, Cindy Palacios, Tyler Hess, and Talking Superman. If you are interested in that or just want to support us for as little as $1 per month, you get a bunch of cool bonuses for that. You get some outtakes and you get some deleted tangents. You get exclusive episodes of some of our movie podcasts. So go and have a look if you want to. And then at $5 you get voting rights and some other things. And then obviously the producer credits up higher. So go and have a look and see if you want to do that and support all the content and keep everything coming. But yes, on to the TV dramas. We have Legendary Television have closed an agreement with Frank Miller to turn Sin City into a TV show.
It's just what everyone was begging for.
And a deal's close with Robert Rodriguez, which would mean he'd be reteaming with Miller because he did the movies. And I hated the second one.
I never saw the second one because I had sense.
I didn't hate the first one when I saw it, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that if I went back and watched it,
I sense an influx.
I would probably hate it now. Or at least, maybe not hate, maybe hate's a strong word, but I don't think I'd be into it.
Might feel a little bit more indifferent.
Yeah. So, so they're expected to executive produce together with Legendary Television, and the deal is on the table for Legendary to guarantee a first season of the show contingent on setting up with the network and streaming platform. So if they get a platform on board to distribute it, they'll guarantee a season. So it looks like it's probably happening. Now, the deal with Miller calls for a hard R-rated animated series for Sin City prequel based on Miller's graphic novels. So this is a second thing. So there's also potentially an animated series that's R-rated, and it's a prequel to Sin City. Yeah, so thoughts on animated, R-rated?
I mean,
Sin City?
Sin City, do I care?
Yeah, that's a good
question.
I
mean, the reality is Sin City is still enough of a name, I think, to a wider audience that someone will pick it up.
Yeah, although my only dispute on that, although I still think it's big enough for a TV network or whatever to pick it up, but I will say the box office for the second one compared to the first one was astronomically lower.
I don't disagree on that. It was dire. I think enough to say, hey, we're doing a TV show. It's enough of a name where people go, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Which for a TV show is often enough to get people to check out.
Yeah. Moving on, Gary Oldman's going to star in a spy drama called Slow Horses, and this is Apple Plus that's doing this.
I think you'll find it's Apple TV Plus.
Okay, sorry, Apple TV Plus. I'm so ashamed. I got that wrong. How will I ever live with myself? Oh no, forgive me, oh Lord.
I think 3 trips being flogged down the street should do it nicely.
Justified's Graham Yost is executive producing. I know people were a fan of that show. I never saw it, but people were a fan of that neither. On FX. So, yes, they've ordered an adaptation of Mick Herron's spy novels from Top of the Lake producer Seesaw Films. Slow Horses, which was first published in 2010, features Jackson Lamb, a brilliant but well, I don't know what that word is.
I'm intrigued.
Irascible? Having or showing a tendency to be easily angered. Are you recognizing this? Have you seen this before?
I haven't, but I would definitely say irascible.
Yeah. No, sometimes I like to get fancy with these descriptions. They want to show they're smart, so they'll put in like a word that no one uses anymore.
It makes sense. I'm thinking of the word irate and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I can see where it kind of comes from, yeah. But yeah, just threw me. I was like, anyway, so irascible leader of a group of spies who end up in MI5's Slough House. That's Slough House. Having been exiled from the mainstream for their mistakes, Darkest Hour and The Dark Knight star Oldman will play Jackson Lamb. So
is this shit spies?
The book, which is the first in a series of 8, follows the abduction of a young man with the kidnappers threatening to behead him live on the internet. However, there are question marks as to whether the victim is who he appears to be, and there's a murky connection between the kidnappers and a disgraced journalist. So that's the...
Sounds like you'll hate this.
Yeah, it sounds like I'll hate it, yeah. The series will be written by Will Smith.
Not that one, I assume.
Yeah, it's not that Will Smith, but I wanted to say that because it's factually correct. The series will be written by Will Smith.
I wonder if it's because there's a Will Smith who worked on the thick of it.
Maybe. Here's the thing. I mean, for all I know, Gary Oldman's character might die at the end of the book, so I don't know if this is relevant questioning. But like, if this is a success, I don't see Gary Oldman being here for like 8 seasons for all 8 books. You know?
Yeah.
Gary Oldman's a busy man. He's got a lot of things to do.
Yeah, that would be quite a lot of time for him.
Yeah.
Who knows? I wonder if it's the same Will Smith. It's not showing up when I search it, but it could be. He's written on a bunch of TV shows. Oh, it is. It's the same Will Smith. Okay, I actually know who this guy is. I like this guy.
Okay.
I mean, I just got a little bit more interested because it's a writer that I like, and Gary Oldman.
Next up, Netflix has ordered a social thriller from Turkish creator Berkin Uya, the man behind the well-travelled international drama format called The End. So this is an untitled 8-part series that he will write and direct, which is produced by Ali Farkhonda and Nisan Xaren Gökçen on behalf of Krek Film. C-R-E-K, I like that word, Krek. It's a good word.
It's a good word.
Krek. The series tells the story of a group of unique characters from dramatically different social-cultural backgrounds meeting in startling circumstances in the vibrant and colourful city of Istanbul, some by chance and some by force of will. Now they must form new friendships and or reckon with a complicated past. So, very vague in its description there, but this is a Turkish original by the sounds of it, so, you know.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't think I've seen any of those yet.
No, usually when it's the first of a country's originals, they'll shout about it. So I'm going to assume there's at least been one before, because
that we just haven't seen.
Yeah, because they're not saying, hey, in a first, Netflix are doing a Turkish original.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's the thing that's happening. Next up, at Fox, one of the networks, Fox have given a script commitment plus penalty to Sometimes I Lie, a limited series starring and executive produced by. From the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to star and produce in this.
One day, one of these articles is going to say the hit television show, and you won't be adding that in yourself.
Oh, yes. So, the project is based on former BBC journalist Alice Feeney's debut novel. It hails from Oscar-nominated writer Robin Sweetcard, who did The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which I was not a fan of, admittedly, so, I mean, I'm not...
I didn't hate it.
One for me. One for me. So, yes, Sometimes I Lie stars Geller as Amber Reynolds, who is in a coma. She can't remember how she got there. Well, that's a coma. I mean, a few ways you could get there. But she knows it wasn't an accident. Terrified and trapped in her own body. So this is in her head, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
So she tries to piece together her memories of the last week, with a husband who no longer loves her, a sister hiding a dangerous secret, and an ex-boyfriend who can't let go of her. Amber knows someone is lying, and that her life is still very much in danger. Alternating between her paralysed present and the week before her accident, and a series of childhood diaries from 20 years ago, this psychological thriller asks, is something really a lie if you believe it's the truth? Yes, it's still a lie. Yes, it's still definitely a lie.
Yeah.
What's funny is it says childhood diaries from 20 years ago. 20 years ago was season 3 of Buffy, so 20 years ago. Well, Angel came back from hell, and everyone was a bit weird about it because he did kill,
To be fair, I would still count that as childhood diaries in this context.
Oh, so would I. It's a teenager. Yeah. Which gets us into all the murky parts about Angel being 240 or whatever, and she being 17 when they have sex. And
but here's the important part.
Yeah.
He doesn't look 240, so it's fine.
That's not really the point of what I was saying, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. But yeah, I mean, I think somewhere that wasn't Fox, I might think this sounded interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fact that it is on Fox does dampen my enthusiasm quite significantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres is amongst the producers as well. Doesn't really mean much,
Of course
but
she is. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the thing. Next up, sticking with Fox. Fox has closed a deal for a script commitment plus penalty to Stateside. It's about a military veteran who returns to his job as a state trooper. The project is inspired by a true story, comes from The Enemy Within writer-producer Tony Camarino, an 18-year veteran of the Air Force and Air Force Reserves. So here's the description. Stateside centers on a fearless special ops veteran who returns from Iraq to his job as a Massachusetts.
He'll get there eventually, folks.
Massachusetts. I can say it. I don't know. For some reason, I'm just having trouble with the middle of that word. Massachusetts. There you go. State trooper. I just had to shout it. And is shocked to find that his hometown is even worse shape than the war-torn village he spent the past year rebuilding. Gangbangers are. What was that?
Is it really worse? That sounds quite extreme. Worse than a war-torn village.
Well, they're about to tell us what this place is like, so.
All right, go on then.
It doesn't mention what town he's in, admittedly, it just says the state, obviously. But gangbangers are rolling through the streets, AK-47 slung over their shoulders, dealing with drugs and impunity. I mean, this does sound pretty bad. This may be worse than the war-torn village.
This sounds borderline unbelievably bad.
He boldly decides to take the lessons learned in battle and apply them on the streets of an American city. But to help his neighbours take back their community, he will have to make up for lost time and repair broken relationships he left behind when he enlisted. That was teetering. That was.
Honestly, I don't think there's enough professional.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Actually, there was one or two ago had Dark Past, Secrets from the Past. That was a new rule. Drink, boy,
what?
Drink.
I'm gonna just take your word.
I remembered we made that rule.
No, I remember the rule. I don't remember.
It was one of the comedies.
Nah.
At least it was close enough.
Right. That bottle's finished now.
That was quick.
It was a little bottle. It was a tiny bit. It was like up to there.
Uh-huh.
Screw you.
Next up at CBS, Fighting Words, a forensics linguistic procedural drama.
Screw it. I'm drinking already.
The project from writer Samantha Corbin Miller, who worked in Absentia, Law and Order SVU, and Conviction. What a list of shows. Where are we? I'll just skip to the description. Who cares about all these credits? So it follows a brilliant but socially awkward female forensic linguistics professor who teams with a charming, roguish male Florida Department of Law Enforcement special agent. That was a lot of descriptors for one guy.
To be fair, she had quite a few as well.
Yes. And his unique, cutting-edge forensic skills as a human linguistic polygraph to consult on major cases where language and words play a vital component, from social media to the interrogation room.
So, every case ever, then.
I like the idea that if a linguistics professor tries to analyse me reading some of these descriptions, they'll just be dumbfounded and not know what to make of it.
They'll be like, this guy is occasionally fairly smart sounding, and then he struggles over really basic things.
Shut up. CBS has put in development Borrowed Time.
Wait, are we on CBS already?
The last one was CBS as well.
Oh, okay. Of course it was. Why am I questioning that?
CBS has put in development Borrowed Time, a drama from writer Amanda Green, Elizabeth Banks, and Max Hendelman's Brownstone Productions are producing. Written by Green, Borrowed Time follows a cop who wakes up in the body of a stranger with no memory of who she is. This actually sounds more interesting than normal for CBS.
It does.
The search for her identity is complicated by a chilling fact. Someone is trying to kill the person whose life she is inhabiting. She prevents the murder only to awaken in a different body with a new mystery to solve. Oh, they turned it into such a procedural at the end there.
I was waiting for it. I was like, CBS are going to ruin this any second now.
So instead of being one big mystery as to why she's in this new body, she's every time she like stops a murder, she switches to the new victim.
So, new episode, new body.
CBS just sucked the life out of what might have been a good idea.
Are you really surprised?
Did I say I was surprised? Did I imply it in any way that there was...
No, but you sounded disappointed, and that's like... To be still disappointed by CBS implies there's an element that it's surprised.
No one can ever stop being disappointed by CBS. Disappointment is what they produce. Disappointment is what they breed.
I don't know. I'm beyond disappointment. There's an expectation now that they have to go out of their way to disappoint me.
CBS is developing... This is the last story, by the way. CBS is developing the Eshman project. The Eshman Protocol is the name of the show. A conspiracy thriller drama from Ford v Ferrari co-writer Jason Keller. The Eshman Protocol centers on a combat engineer who returns home to San Francisco for the funeral of his estranged father and begins to unravel the mystery of his father's death and dark secrets of the biotech company he inherits.
Sorry, read that last sentence again.
He returns to San Francisco for the funeral of his estranged father and begins to unravel the mystery of his father's death and the dark secrets. Where's the biotech? Dark secrets. Yep. There you go. We had no personal and professional, but we added a new role last week, so you got a few drinks.
I got two, and then one just because of the introduction of one of the shows was just like, Jesus, screw me, this needs a drink.
There you go. News is done.
Pretty light week.
Yeah, it's a lighter week. Not as much this week. Which is fine, you know.
Probably helps, or doesn't help, that we shifted back to Friday for recording versus Sunday that's been the last couple of weeks.
No, you can say that, but almost none of the news we do is ever from Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, really?
It makes no difference. The TV news cycle, unless it's like a Comic-Con or something like that, really sticks to the Monday to Friday work week for its news. So
fair enough then.
So that's not affected that. It's just been a lighter week. But that's okay. I mean, we had a ton of stuff from the networks last week, so I mean, they can't have much left to, order pilots of.
Oh, they can always surprise you.
Oh, God. I want no more of it. I don't think there's anything coming up this week to tell you about new-wise. Obviously, we did The Mandalorian this past week, episodes 1 and 2, because they both went out, so you can check out our reviews of that. Yeah, check out, obviously, Watchmen, check out Mr. Robot, the obvious things we've been doing for a while now, that are currently in the season still. Good conversations on both of those. But yeah, that's everything, right? There's nothing else to...
No, nothing next week. Just ticking along with what we got.
Yeah. Don't worry, December's bringing a storm of stuff.
Yeah, once we hit mid-December, we are busy until like at least the first week of the new year.
Yep, busy time. So yeah, let us know what you think of the news that came up this week. You can get us in the comments below. You can like and subscribe. Ding the bell on YouTube if you want to make sure you get the notifications. You can rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. It helps more people find us if you would do that. We mentioned Patreon earlier if you want to support us financially, so you can go do that too. But otherwise, that is it. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?